Welcome back to Neville Manifestation, a space where you don't just learn about change, you become it. If you're ready to stop chasing results and start embodying the reality you desire, then you're exactly where you need to be. Consider this not just a video, but your invitation into a new way of thinking, feeling, and living. And if you truly want to go deeper, make sure you become a member of this channel, where transformation isn't taught, it's experienced. Close your eyes for just a second and ask yourself this. What if everything you've been waiting for has already happened, and you're the only one who hasn't realized it yet? What if the life you keep chasing is not in the future, but hidden in the way you think right now? Imagine waking up tomorrow with zero doubt, zero fear, and a quiet certainty that everything is already yours. How would you walk, speak, and live if failure was no longer part of your reality? Because the truth is, that version of you is not coming, it's a decision away. Take a moment and gently close your eyes. Breathe in slowly, deeply, letting the air fill your body completely. Now, instead of imagining, I want you to truly consider something. Ask yourself this with honesty. Who are you right now if wealth is already in your hands? Not who you might become someday, not what your life would look like later. Who are you in this exact moment, in this body, in this breath, if abundance is already yours? How do you carry yourself? How does your body feel without the tight grip of financial worry? Notice your posture, your face, the way your thoughts move. Imagine waking up in the morning with a calm certainty, without checking numbers, without stress, without that quiet fear in the background. Just knowing that everything flows to you naturally, as effortlessly as water finding its path downhill. Stay in that feeling, don't rush past it, because what I'm about to share is simple, yet powerful. You cannot wait for proof before you believe. It has never worked that way. Proof only shows up after you accept something as true within yourself. Wealth is not just numbers or a bank balance. It's a state of being. It's the way you exist within your own life. The exact moment you fully step into that state, everything around you begins to reflect it. Not later, not after some waiting period. It starts immediately, even if you can't see it yet. Just like the sunrise is inevitable, what you hold inside begins moving toward the visible world. Think about someone who is truly wealthy, not someone pretending, not someone trying to look rich, but someone who simply is. Do they constantly worry? Do they quietly calculate every expense while talking to someone? Do they hesitate, wondering if they're allowed to have more? No, they expect good things. They receive naturally. There's a quiet confidence in them, nothing loud or forced, just a deep knowing that they are supported. If you want abundance, this is where it begins. Not tomorrow, not when your situation changes. Right now, exactly as things are, you must step into the feeling of already having everything you desire. Let your thoughts come from that place. Let your words come from that place. Move through your day as that version of yourself. Stop repeating the story of struggle. Every time you say, I can't afford this, you're not just describing your situation, you're strengthening it. You're agreeing to stay there. Instead, speak like someone who already lives in abundance. Tell yourself, I am financially free. Prosperity supports me. Everything I touch grows. Say it not as hope, but as truth, as a decision about who you are. Carry yourself with quiet certainty, like someone who has already won. This isn't arrogance. Arrogance comes from insecurity trying to hide. This is calm, steady confidence, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything. When you see a price, don't shrink or hesitate. Internally remind yourself, I can afford anything I choose. Even if your external world hasn't caught up yet, your inner state is already shaping what comes next. Your job is simply to stay loyal to that belief. The moment you truly live in the state of wealth, not just briefly visiting it, but fully living in it, things begin to shift. People, opportunities, and situations that match that state start appearing in your life. Not because you forced them, but because you've aligned with them. Yes, doubt will show up. It always does. It will sound logical, convincing you nothing is changing. But doubt is not truth. It's just your old thinking trying to pull you back. Your current reality is only a reflection of past beliefs. It's not a sign of what's coming. Hold on to your new assumption, protect it, stay with it, and sooner than you expect, your reality will begin to change. You're not trying to become wealthy, you already are. You're not waiting to receive, you already have. This is done. Now live like failure is no longer part of your language. At the deepest level, there is a simple truth. Your outer world reflects your inner state. Nothing comes from outside first. Everything begins within you. What you accept as true, whether consciously or not, builds your reality piece by piece. Look honestly at your life, your finances, your relationships, the opportunities you see or miss. All of it comes from thoughts you've repeated, feelings you've held on to, and beliefs you've accepted as normal. Most people never question this. They think life is happening to them, that they're just reacting to circumstances. But that's not true. You have always been in control. The only problem is not realizing it. Everything around you once existed as an idea. Every building, every invention, every piece of art started in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting on, the phone in your hand, none of it existed physically at first. It all began in imagination before becoming real. So why would your personal life be any different? Your situation does not define you. The identity you accept defines your situation. If you believe in limitation, you'll keep experiencing it in different forms. Bad timing, missed chances, lack of support. But the moment you truly accept that success, abundance, and joy are natural for you, everything begins to shift. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a law, just as consistent as gravity. What you hold in your mind eventually becomes your reality. You are always imagining, whether you realize it or not. The only question is, are you choosing it consciously, or are you repeating old patterns without awareness? Think carefully about what's been running in your mind up to this point. Are you replaying old fears? Are you constantly imagining things going wrong? Are you rehearsing lack, going over past failures so many times that they feel more real than any future you actually want? If that's what you're feeding your mind, then it's no surprise that similar experiences keep showing up. If you truly want your life to change, you must shift what you believe is possible for you. Not for other people, not in theory, for you personally, without any hidden exceptions or doubts. Start now. See yourself as already having what you desire. Don't wait for proof, because proof always comes after the assumption, never before it. Walk like your success is already part of your life. Speak as if your desires are already fulfilled. Carry yourself with the calm certainty of someone who already knows how everything turns out. Doubt will try to interrupt. Your logical mind will point at your current situation and argue that nothing has changed. But the truth is, reality doesn't begin in what you can see. It begins within you. The outer world is always playing catch-up with your inner state. It never leads, it follows. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the tree the same day, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Growth has already begun beneath the surface. Your belief is that seed. Once it's planted, your job is not to keep digging it up to check if it's working. What matters is persistence, not force, not struggle, just staying consistent in the assumption. Especially when things don't seem to be changing, that's when it matters most. Because the moment you release doubt and fully accept your new reality, things begin to show up in ways you could never have planned. There's a huge difference between wishing for something and living as if it's already yours. Wishing creates distance. Every time you say, I want, you're also saying, I don't have. And that feeling of not having becomes your reality. But when you step into the state of already having, when you mentally and emotionally live in the result, you remove that distance completely. Most people stay stuck in wanting. They wake up thinking about what's missing. They go through their day reinforcing the idea that they're still waiting. And at night, they fall asleep with that same feeling of not having enough. That cycle repeats, not because of their circumstances, but because of their state of mind. Now imagine something different. What if you stopped wishing and instead became the version of yourself who already has what you've been chasing? How would you think? How would you feel? How would you move through a normal day? You wouldn't be doubting. You wouldn't keep repeating the story of what hasn't happened yet. You would carry a quiet confidence, not something forced or exaggerated, but something natural. A calm inner knowing that the decision has already been made. That's the key. Becoming it before you see it. Not by pretending, but by genuinely feeling it as real within yourself. The physical world is like a mirror, and a mirror doesn't argue with what stands in front of it. It simply reflects. So instead of worrying about how things will happen, focus on what you're being. The logical mind will always try to figure out the exact steps, the exact timing, the exact path. But that's not your job. Trying to control every detail only creates resistance. The process doesn't need your constant interference. It needs your belief. That's your role in all of this. Think about someone who already has what you want. They're not stressing over how it came to them. They're not overthinking the process. They're simply living in it. That's the state you must enter now, not later. And don't just think about it, feel it. Notice how your body would change, how your breathing would slow, how your shoulders would relax, how your decisions would come from a place of security instead of fear. That feeling is everything. That's what life responds to. Your emotions are not just reactions, they are signals. Every moment you are sending out a certain energy, and life responds by matching it. That's why two people in similar situations can experience completely different outcomes. One expects things to work out, and somehow they do. Another expects problems, and life keeps confirming that expectation. Your emotional state is shaping your experience. When you feel anxious about money, you're not just feeling something, you're reinforcing the belief that it's not enough. And life reflects that back to you. But when you genuinely feel abundant, when you feel secure and supported, you send a completely different signal, and life begins to match that. Most people live in reaction mode. They wait for something outside to change before they allow themselves to feel good. They feel safe when things go right and stressed when they don't. But that's backwards. You have to choose the feeling first. The outer world will adjust afterward. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding, before checking anything, that you are already financially at peace. Not pretending, but choosing that state intentionally. Moving through your day without shrinking at expenses, without that tight feeling of fear. Just calm, steady confidence. If you could hold that feeling consistently, your reality would have no choice but to reflect it. This isn't random, it's a law. This is also why many people struggle with affirmations. It's not because affirmations don't work, but because they say the words while feeling the opposite. And feeling always wins. But if you truly feel the relief of being free, the lightness of not worrying, the joy of having more than enough, then something real shifts inside you. At that point, you're no longer hoping, you are becoming it. Train yourself to feel ahead of the evidence. That's the entire practice. Don't wait for life to prove it to you. Create the feeling first, hold it, and let life catch up. Another way people block themselves is by obsessing over how things will happen. The mind wants a clear step-by-step plan. It wants to see the path before it moves. But that need for control actually slows everything down. When you try to force outcomes, you're showing that you don't fully trust the process. And whatever you don't trust, you push away. Life doesn't respond to control, it responds to belief. Think of a farmer planting a seed. He doesn't dig it up every day to check on it. He trusts the process. He takes care of the conditions, but he doesn't interfere with what's happening underground. You've already planted your desire in your mind. Now your job is to stop interfering. Stop checking constantly. Stop looking for immediate proof. Stay consistent in your belief. Hold the feeling. Trust that what you've started is already unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. Many people fail here. They stay committed for a short time, then start looking for results. When they don't see anything right away, they assume it's not working. They go back to doubt, back to old thinking, and undo everything. Don't be that person. Be the one who trusts completely. The one who stays steady. The one who doesn't need constant proof to keep going. Let the process unfold. Let things come together in ways you couldn't have planned. Move forward with quiet certainty, knowing that what you've already claimed internally is on its way to becoming visible. Stay in that state and let life meet you there. Now bring yourself into that steady, calm confidence of someone who already knows how this ends. Because inside, the decision has already been made. From that place, you no longer feel the need to control every detail. You allow life to handle the path. And often, the way things unfold will be far more creative and perfectly timed than anything you could have planned. It might show up as a simple conversation that opens an unexpected door. It could be an idea that comes to you early in the morning and quietly changes everything. Or a series of events that flow so naturally you can't even point to the exact moment things shifted. That's how this process usually works. Not as one dramatic breakthrough, but as a smooth reorganization of your life around the new state you've chosen. Let go of the need to control it. Let go of needing to fully understand it before trusting it. You don't need to understand how something works to benefit from it. You use gravity every day without questioning it. This is no different. Your assumption sets things in motion. Life handles the rest. And understand this clearly. Your words matter more than you think. Every word you speak, and even the silent conversations in your mind, are shaping your reality. You're not just describing what is, you are building what will be. When you say things like, I can't afford it, or money is always a struggle, you're not stating facts, you're reinforcing a pattern. Life doesn't argue with you, it simply reflects what you consistently declare as true. You could spend a few minutes imagining success, but if the rest of your day is filled with thoughts and words of lack, that is what will dominate. It's not about what you do occasionally, it's about what you live in consistently. So begin choosing your words differently, not as a lie, but as a conscious shift. Instead of saying you can't afford something, remind yourself that you're choosing where your money goes. Instead of saying you're struggling, affirm that opportunities and resources are finding their way to you. You're not pretending, you're aligning with the state you've decided to live in. Your body reflects this too. The way you stand, walk, and carry yourself sends a constant message about what you believe. Tension, tightness, and contraction often come from fear and lack. But someone who feels secure and supported moves differently. There's ease, calmness, and a natural confidence. Start embodying that, not for anyone else, but for your own alignment. Let your posture, your breathing, and your movements reflect the version of you who already has what you desire. Ask yourself often, would the version of me who already has this think this way, speak this way, act this way? Then gently adjust. Every small moment matters. Every choice either strengthens the old version of you or builds the new one. There is no neutral ground. So choose the direction of abundance again and again, even in the smallest situations. Over time, those choices shape an entirely new life. The real test comes when nothing seems to be changing on the outside. It's easy to believe when things are going well. But what about when there's no visible progress? When doubt shows up with strong, convincing arguments? That's where most people give up. Not because it's impossible, but because they stop holding the state. They mistake the delay for failure. They go back to old thinking, old emotions, and undo what was already forming. But that delay is natural. Just like a seed takes time to grow, your assumption takes time to show itself in the physical world. Your role is to stay steady during that period. To keep holding the vision, even when you can't yet see it. Think of a sculptor working on a block of stone. At first, it still looks like nothing has changed. But with each step, the form is being revealed. The vision is already there. It just needs to be uncovered. When doubt appears, don't treat it as truth. It's just the old version of you trying to return. You don't have to fight it. Just notice it, let it pass, and return to your chosen state. Remind yourself calmly, this is already done. Everything is unfolding. What I've claimed is on its way. That's what faith really is. Not seeing first, then believing, but choosing to believe before seeing, and staying with that decision no matter what appears. Every person who has transformed their life in a big way has done this. Not through luck or special advantage, but through persistence. They didn't turn back when things looked unchanged. They stayed committed to what they had decided was true. So make that decision now. Will you let your current situation define what you believe? Or will you hold your belief until it becomes visible? Because life cannot deny what you consistently assume to be true. Stay with it, through silence, through doubt, through every moment that tries to pull you back. Because once you truly decide, fully and without going back, the work is already done. Everything else is just life catching up. What you want already exists within you. Your imagination holds it. Your belief activates it. Your feelings send the signal. Your words and actions keep you aligned. And your consistency proves that you've truly stepped into that state. Live from the end. Feel it now, not later. Don't wait for proof. Let your inner world become so steady, so certain, that the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Let go of needing to know how it will happen. That part isn't yours to figure out. Focus on being the version of yourself who already has it. Speak like them, move like them, feel like them. And when doubt shows up, simply return to knowing. Life is a mirror. It doesn't judge or decide, it reflects. And when you stand before it as someone who already has what they desire, the reflection must change. Stay committed to that inner state, not because it sounds good, but because it works. This is how the unseen becomes seen. This is how your inner world becomes your outer reality. You are not here to wish for a better life. You are here to step into it fully, without hesitation, and allow everything around you to reorganize itself to match that decision. This is I'll see you in the next one. So now, everything comes down to this single defining choice. Will you continue to live as a reflection of your past, or will you step into the identity of the person who already has what they desire? Because the truth is, nothing outside of you needs to change first. The shift begins the moment you decide that your inner state is the only authority that matters. You are not waiting for wealth, success, or freedom to arrive. You are aligning with the version of yourself for whom these things are already normal. And once that alignment becomes steady, the outer world has no choice but to follow. There is no need to force, chase, or struggle. Life reorganizes itself quietly, precisely, and often in ways far beyond your imagination. Opportunities will appear, ideas will flow, doors will open, not because you begged for them, but because you became the person they belong to. So stop asking if it's possible. Stop checking for proof, and stop returning to the old story every time doubt whispers. Instead, stand firm in the unseen, hold the assumption with calm certainty, and move through your days as if the outcome is already decided. Because in truth, it is. The life you want is not ahead of you, it is within you, waiting for you to claim it fully. And the moment you do, everything changes. Not slowly, not randomly, but inevitably. This is your power, this is your moment, and this is where your new reality begins.